Hello sunshines, welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on all the internet places. Today is Tuesday, the 1st of April, and I'm coming to you from my office after hours to talk about hi Nugget.
Hi.
To talk about my work project. So this project lives at work. I work on it on my lunch break, and I am making a pair of leggings. So yes, it's after hours. We're getting ready to leave, but I wanted to check in with you because I wanted to try on the leggings, and I'm wearing tights today and a dress instead of jeans, so I can do that. I am wearing shorts, so don't worry, you're not going to see anything that you shouldn't. All right, excuse the very weird angle, but these are the leggings. I am wearing shorts. Okay. I can only try it on one leg because I'm doing a magic loop and the needle's not big enough. So, pretty sure this is all the way up. Excuse me. Maybe it could go a little bit higher. So here are my leggings, and this is where I am. I wanted to try them on because I needed to see if I needed to work straight or start decreasing. But I think I'm going to work this green stripe straight and the next green stripe. So that'll probably take me, so green stripe, black stripe, green stripe. That should take me down to here. And I'm going to do a pretty rapid decrease and then work the leg straight. So I'm going to sit down to take these off. So I should make really good progress on this. Hopefully by the end of the school year. That would be nice. We don't have that many weeks left. I mean, yes, we have that many weeks left, but we don't have that many weeks left. Like 12 or something. No, less than 12. I don't know, it's very close. So, I did work on these yesterday and today. I finished the black stripe. That's where I was last time you saw this, a month ago. And no, like a month ago. So February, I think, was the last time I worked on these, because I had blankets in March, if you're new here, that I was working on at school instead. So my goal way back when was to do 3 rounds a day. But then I realized that I had decreased enough stitches that it wasn't too much of a stretch to do 4 rounds a day. So my new goal is 4 rounds a day. And if I reach that goal, for the time being, because if you didn't catch my bingo video, I'll link it up here, my crafty goals video. I want to make another blanket for middle school auction, and that blanket will be auctioned off before the end of the school year. And I just said we only have like 12 or less weeks, right? If I'm going to make a blanket, I have to work on it. I'm going to pause this for a second and breathe. In order to make sure that I'm making progress on the blanket, in order to ensure that I don't have to bust out a blanket in a month and make that my only focus, because that's not my favorite thing to do, on the days where I take my whole lunch and I don't work during part of my lunch, which is something that's a struggle for me, and I get through all 4 of my quota rounds for the day, my plan is to then, I'm looking down because I picked it up, so obviously I had to start working on it, is to then work on some squares. So I have plans for this. I'm going to show you these skeins of yarn that were donated to me by another staff member, and I don't know if this is a full skein or not. I don't know, it looks way smaller. So I have all of this yellow, 1 brown, some oranges, and my plan is, my door made a sound. My plan is to make a 5x5 blanket. So So it's going to be 25 squares total. And I'm going to do 13 solid yellow granny squares. And then for the other 12 squares, I want to make flowers. So the center will be this brown, and then they'll have orange petals. And I think I'm going to make those first for the 12 squares. Not first before I make the solids, but like before I turn the flowers into squares. That way I can see what I have left of the orange and brown, so I can determine if I want to use those in any of the squares or none of the squares. Yeah. And I already have a pattern picked out. I will maybe screenshot it and put it in here. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a flower. It's a free blog tutorial thing. Not tutorial. Ooh, there might be a tutorial. There's definitely written instructions. I think there's a video to go along with it, but I thought it was pretty and it looks easy and should be something that once I do the first one, I won't have to look it up to do the next one. And I'm using a size J hook. It doesn't have the millimeters written on it, and I don't have that memorized. So I'm going to be working on this when I finish my rounds for the day on my leg warmers. And hopefully it means that, you know, I'll be accomplishing a square a week, maybe a square plus a week would be the hope. And then once it gets closer to auction time, then I'll really be trying to do the squares. But yeah, that's my plan for 2 projects this month. My 2 school projects. So I'm excited for that. All right, my kiddo's already in the car. I guess I should stop talking to you and go out there. What are those students doing? Can you hear them? I don't even know if you can, but I can. I will talk to you soon. Hey, sunshines. So I pulled out my corner to corner blanket to work on. No, not to work on, to photograph for my crafty goals video, which if you haven't seen it, there's a tag up in the upper right corner that you can click on and go watch it. So then of course I had to work on it. And so I've worked 8 minis in already, as I was editing, and now I need to take another picture of something else. But now I'm watching a vlog, so I'm going to wait till the end of the vlog to take the picture. Anyway, these are minis that I'm going to work into this blanket, and these are minis that I'm still going through because they are minis that Haley sent back to me. Not all of these yarns were yarns that I used, but pretty much anything that's in a ball is yarn that I used and sent to her. So this is my bag of the minis that were from the Certain Shade of Green Advent that I put together one year. And this is things that are either going to go in the Nor'easterly or the linen stitch blanket. This is a tangled mess that happened in the bag, but it's fine. I'll get through it. Oh, and there are a couple little balls that are gray that I'm going to hold aside for the center of flowers for the African flower blanket that I'm going to make eventually, that I've, made some flowers for. But now I remembered I have this headband that has this stain here. I think it's stained in a couple places, so I don't really wear it. It's knit from, nope, it's not knit. It was crocheted, but not like with a normal hook. It's what is that called? Tunisian crochet. So it's a Tunisian crochet headband that I don't wear because it's stained now. So I'm going to rip this and put it in the blanket. And I forgot how pretty this blanket was. I feel like this happens with all of my blankets. Like, I get tired of working on them, so I put them away and then I pull them out and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful thing. So I'm having that moment with my blanket and I wanted to share that with you. Well, that isn't how I expected to spend my evening, but that's okay. I ended up finishing off hold on, where are we? There we go. 24 minis. That's not what I planned to work on tonight. I didn't actually know what I planned to work on because I have a bunch of things that I started, that I carried over, I guess is better to say, that I carried over from March or from 2024, but then it was this, and I want to show you. I guess I have to turn on my flash for this. This right here, this is my favorite section that I did today. Oh, I just think it's so, so pretty. So, yeah. I didn't expect to do that. I did, it's gotta be, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 rows, 3.5 rows, something like that. So that was really fun. I probably won't have another go like that on this blanket because I don't have another, I don't have another collection of minis that I just want to work into this blanket. Sorry, I'm shaking a lot. All of my other minis I want to work into other blankets first, sort of thing. But that was cool and fun, and it's pretty, and I'm glad that I worked on it. In March, I was talking about maybe I had another ball of yarn that I had purchased for this blanket. I don't. I checked, and I looked at the colors in here, and I already used it. So it's just leftovers from here on out, which it's still gonna need a lot. So I better get to work on some fingering weight projects so I could use up scraps. Hey sunshines, happy Thursday, the 3rd of April. How are you? I've had a day. It's warm here today. It was cold yesterday, like 30s, I think, and rainy. Yeah, like 30s and rainy. And right now it's 65. So it's humid. And it was so humid in my classroom that I thought it was just me having slight breathing problems and getting a headache, but then my students were they started coughing and wheezing a little bit and headaches and stuff. So I spent the day with my classroom door open, which we're not supposed to do for safety reasons, but obviously there was an exception made. I texted the principal right away and was like, hey, I know this isn't our best practice, but so that was cool. Hopefully there's already a ticket put in to get it fixed with Stuffy Stuffs. What am I trying to say? A company to come out to check I don't think my vents are working properly, but that was a miserable day. But anyway, I was going to check in with you at lunch because I finished a stripe on the leggings, which is exciting. And I finished a square for the blanket. So 2 finished things at lunch, but I just couldn't because it was too loud because as a temporary measure, they put a giant fan in my room, which helped, but I also had to have the door open. Sorry, I'm still recovering, obviously. And I've been working on so many things, but I think I'm going to save that and talk about it tomorrow. The only thing that I do want to talk about right now, I finished putting this yarn in all of my scrappy blankets and the cowl for my sister. And I wound off. I decided I would do it this way because I just think it's so cute. I have a bunch of these bobbins left over from a Frankensock kit that my friend Haley gave me ever ago. So I pulled out one of the bobbins from the Frankensock kit as like a guideline for how chunky to wind the bobbin. So I'm not saying mine are 5 grams, but hopefully pretty close, so that I can save these 2 for my oldest kiddo's scrappy socks commemorating all of the socks that I knit this year. Or probably just scrappy sock. I did end up cutting the yarn for my sister's oldest kiddo sock because I was like, no, I really want it to be in the sock for my oldest kiddo. So whatever, it's fine. But I'm pretty excited about that. I'll check in with you about projects tomorrow, though. Hey, sunshines. It's Friday, April 4th. It's a little after 6 a.m. I feel like there is a very distinct possibility that this weekend is going to be quiet for me, and I am going to hide in my room and craft and read all weekend. Because last night my dad called me. Yesterday morning he texted me out of nowhere and was like, oh, I love you. Okay. I love you too. I don't know. But we're not those people. Like, I know that some people talk to their parents like every day. I'm not that person. Like, my dad and I like talk like maybe 4 times a year. So that, I don't know, that was weird. I was like, that's weird. He texted me right before my first class started yesterday. Excuse me. And then last night he called me. And, he had to go to the doctor for something. And they found a mass on his kidney. It's a 8.6 centimeter mass. So it's pretty big. So yeah, I feel like I just went through this. Like, my mom hasn't even been gone for 2 years. Like, we just did this. I don't want to do the a parent with cancer thing again. Like, so yeah, I have to get through today. And then I might craft all weekend, or I might just like not do anything all weekend. I don't know. But that's where I'm at today. Right now in this minute. I feel like I'll probably craft though, because I've already worked on some things this morning. So there's that. I don't know. Hello, sunshines. Happy Saturday, April 5th. It is rainy and gloomy and so lovely outside. It is the perfect morning to spend some time hanging out in my nest, watching some videos and crafting. Oh, I'm so excited. Update about my classroom. The outside maintenance people came in. They think maybe they fixed it. if it was a thermostat issue. However, it might be a vent issue. So we'll see on Monday how my classroom feels. So yeah, yesterday was dysregulating and Thursday was dysregulating because it was loud, because there were fans, but the kids were great about it. So that's good. Hopefully it's fixed on Monday, because on Thursday and yesterday, the kids were doing things where they were using headphones. But on Monday, I think half of my classes, it's going to be doing whole group instruction, so no headphones. So yeah, we'll see. I might change my lesson plans if we still need fans. But anyway, let's look at what I want to work on today. So I did the whole leg this week. I think I was in this gray section, or maybe it's still here on Monday. No, I think I was in the gray section on Monday. Also, I think I did the cuff 2 rounds longer on the second sock. I think I did 8 rounds over here and 10 rounds over here, because I usually do 10 rounds when I'm starting socks for myself, but because Patton's Croy is a little thicker, I think I went down to 8 stitches over here, but whatever. So yeah, it looks so good. Totally worth it to buy a whole skein just so I could get this one stripe for the sock. I'm so excited and happy. But anyway, the leg is done. So I've knit across for the first pass of the heel. And now I have to start working back and forth. So this weekend, I would like to get this whole heel completed and the turn and pick up the gusset so that it's back to working in the round, easy peasy school knitting. There's a new episode of Wheel of Time, so I think I'm going to work on this project the whole time for Wheel of Time. So we're on episode 6. How many episodes are in the Wheel of Time seasons? I don't remember. 8? Something like that. So my tentative plan for now, because we know that I like to make little challenges for myself, is on Saturday mornings when I'm watching Wheel of Time, I want to work on this project for the whole episode, because I know that this project is going to be a little bit of a slog. The yarn is beautiful. It is Cattails yarn in the colorway Gleeman's Cloak, which is why I kind of want to work on it during Wheel of Time, because it's a Wheel of Time colorway. But also it's a lot of knitting forever and ever and ever and ever. And I love my kiddos so much, which is why I'm making them. But yeah, it's not my favorite project to work on. I don't hate it, but it's not my favorite. Oh, I guess this is reminding me of my leggings that are at work. I didn't check in with you. Yesterday I did very little crafting at lunch because I had a lot of stuff to catch up on. I did start the black stripe on my leggings, so hopefully Monday I'll finish that and be on to the next green stripe. That's my thought. Anyway, I am starting a test knit for Alundria Knits. She sent out the email yesterday morning, and I was like, no, I'm not, or no, it wasn't yesterday morning, it was the night before, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it, but it's it looks like a fairly straightforward color work sock. There's color work on the leg, but not the whole leg, and then there's color work above the toe. So a lot of it is just stockinette, which means that this can also be, once I get it through the color work sections, this can be a work knitting sock. So I don't have the pattern yet, but I looked at the cuff, it's 2x2 rib, and I know what size I'm testing, and I'm just going to do a 20 round cuff. So I'm almost done with the 20 rounds, and then I'll be waiting for the pattern to tell me what to do. So today I need to figure out what yarn I want to go with this, because this is going to be my contrast color. This is going to be what I'm going to do the color work in. I'm going to make these socks for my roommate, so I'm gonna look at my hand-dyed yarns and pull out something that is fun but contrasty. I love color work with a speckle background, if I'm being honest. So I need to find something that's high enough contrast for this. So we'll see what I find. I also have this sock, which you haven't seen, I don't think. If you watched my goals video, you'll have seen that I had a sock cast on. This is the Sirena sock, maybe. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll put a screenshot of the pattern on the screen. Also, I haven't really looked at the pattern name to try to figure it out, but it's a textured, lacy, one round of cables in the whole repeat sock. It's for my aunt. Both of these socks are Knit Pick Stroll. This one is, what is this? Ash. And this one is Dogwood Heather. So I'd like to work a little bit on that. I have the socks for my sister's oldest kiddo, and I am through the heel on both of them. I am working them two at a time on 2 circular needles because there are so many stitches on the gusset that I thought I was going to be able to do it, and then it just wasn't enjoyable. So working on 2 circular needles, as soon as I get through the gusset, I'm going to put it back on magic loop so there's less stuff to be managing, because I currently have 2 needles, 4 strands of yarn attached to this project because I'm knitting them DK. So it's 2 strands held double. 1 strand is Knit Picks Stroll Ash. The other is 716 Knit 716 Sock in the No More Butt Monkey colorway. So I just want to make some progress on that. I'm not saying finish the gusset, but a few rounds. And then I don't necessarily want to finish this project, but this is the hood. And I have determined that it is long enough. I'm going to try it on one more time, see if I need to add 2 more rows. But I think I determined it was long enough, but I used up the rest of the yarn. I'm not buying another skein because I have this square that I made back when I taught at Joann's. And I'm going to rip out this square because I don't have a use for it. And it's the same color. So I'm going to rip it out. I am going to Kitchener close to the top of the hood. And then I'm going to pick up, you see these purl bumps? I put those there on purpose. I'm going to pick up stitches for to make rabbit ears. So I'm going to use this to make rabbit ears, which means I'm going to count the number of rows after I Kitchener, see how much yarn I have left, and put a stitch marker at the halfway point so that I make sure that I don't pull out too much. I could work them 2 at a time flat, but I think I would prefer knitting them 1 at a time flat. Yeah, that's what I want to work on today. It's going to be just a little bit of progress on everything. I don't think anything's going to get finished, but it's just, I really, really like being able to touch all of my projects. I know that if I focused on something, it would get done faster, but it's just so nice. I just like all of my projects so much. Hey, sunshines. It's early afternoon on Saturday, and I am in Yarn Barf Central. So my oldest kiddo asked if they could commission me to make a bucket hat for one of their friends who's graduating this year. And they asked way back in February. I think it was February, maybe end of January. I don't know. Whenever I was in blanket mode, and I was like, yes, but not right now. And now I don't have blankets on the go. The only things that are on deadlines are the test knit, which I've decided this is going to be my yarn that's going to go with this. I think that should be high enough contrast, even with the kind of bright flecks. I think it should be fine. So that's the only deadline thing that I have. Everything else I don't need finished until December at the earliest. There is that one auction blanket that I want to do by the end of the school year, but that's it, right? So we just went to Michael's and my kiddo picked out this Lion Brand Heartland yarn in 2 colorways. Ta-da-ta-da. Do you have a name? I did not look before I started recording. Ta-da-ta-da. All right, so the blue is called Olympic and the purple is called Hot Springs, and my kiddo wants them marled. So this is what it is. I'm making a bucket hat. I haven't pulled up a pattern. I'm probably not going to use a pattern. Probably not. Yeah, I feel like I don't really need a pattern. So I'm going to work on this. I'm not planning on like finishing this today. I'm not planning on working on this super hard today, just, you know, as part of the rotation with all of the other projects that I'm working on today. But I did get this. Also, since we were at Michael's, I did look at the sock yarn. So I did pick up 4 skeins of Patton's Croy yarn. I got 2 skeins of Gentry Gray because there's only 1 pair of socks on my Crafty Goals that I don't have yarn ordered for or picked out, and my sister's boyfriend likes black socks, so he's getting Gentry Gray. It's not black, but it's, you know, close enough. And I'm going to have yarn left over when I make this second sock. I'll have that charcoal color so I can supplement whatever I need out of that charcoal. And hopefully that'll be enough for a pair of socks for him. And then I got this because I haven't used this colorway before. It's the blue raspberry. I don't know who these are going to be for, but I haven't used this color before and it's pretty and I've seen it lots of times. So it's fine. It's fine. I will use it. Like this color is great because it can be used for like literally anybody. Oh, maybe I'll make my best friend 2 pairs of socks for the holiday season. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so these are for my best friend. Got it. Hey, sunshines. Happy Monday. I somehow forgot that we were running to the grocery store and Starbucks before school this morning. So when we do that, we leave 15 minutes early. When we don't do that, those 15 minutes is when I get ready for work. Like, get dressed, make sure all of my stuff is together. So my daughter came down to my room and I was like, oh, crap. So instead of having my normal 15 minutes to get ready, I had 2 minutes to get ready. So now I'm putting on my socks in the car as she is in the grocery store. And I hope this is not like what my Monday is going to be like. Hopefully it was just a little blip in my day. But I love these socks. Aren't they beauteous? They're so pretty. My friend Haley got me this yarn. It's a Beauty and the Beast inspired yarn. And I think the pattern is a Beauty and the Beast inspired pattern too. I love these socks. I love all of my socks because if I don't love my socks, I just give them to someone whose feet are slightly smaller or slightly larger than mine, depending on how the sock turned out. So, hi. Pretty sure I didn't talk to you all weekend. Not because I didn't want to talk to you, just because I was cranky and hormonal and didn't get to it. So, here we are. Oh, but I do have a bunch of things to show you. So I'm just gonna go over things quickly because I did take some pictures of some things. I did my hour on the on Venna's thigh highs because they're a Wheel of Time colorway. Gleeman's Cloak is what they're called by Cattails Yarn. So I did the hour of that. I worked on the, what did I decide I'm going to call them? Sirena socks? I think so. I worked on those quite a bit, and I'm pretty excited about those. I am on the last repeat before the heel. So something that I learned a while ago is when I am doing, especially a lace sock, I need to stop the patterning like an inch before the heel. Not for my socks, because I know exactly how long my heel is. Let me show you actually. So here's my sock in my shoe, and my heel flaps I make very deep because I have a really high arch and high instep, and I need a lot of space. I need many spaces. So mine comes out here, but especially when I'm making them for someone else, I like to stop about here. So there's no patterning, just in case, because I don't make everybody's heel flaps as long as mine, just so that it won't mess up the leg of the sock, especially when there's lace, and that sock has lace in it. So I have just started, I'm one round into the final pattern repeat on the leg. So I have the back of the leg is going to be in stockinette for that last repeat. I just got the notification that my card was used, so my daughter is on her way out of the grocery store. What else did I work on? Oh, I finished the knitting portion on the hood. I just need to Kitchener it closed and then pick up the stitches to do the ears. So maybe by the end of this week. I worked on my sister's oldest kiddo's socks, but just a little bit. I think I'm 7 rounds into the gusset now. I think I counted this morning. Location change now in the Starbucks parking lot. I started the test knit, and mine is, it doesn't have a name yet. The pattern doesn't have a name yet. It's by Alendria Knits, and mine is like a low contrast version color work, which I think is so pretty. I mean, I also like high contrast color work, obviously. If you've been around, you've seen some of my stuff, but low contrast is just so pretty sometimes. So I started on that, and I think I'm like a quarter of the way through the chart, maybe. And I think, oh, and I started the hat for my oldest kiddo's friend. So I did a lot of crafting this weekend, just not a lot of talking. Ooh, and I did get my Croy sock through the heel, which was my goal, so that it's in my pocket, so that I can work on it at school as my pocket knitting. So yay that. So I got all of that done. I just didn't check it. So I will check in, maybe not today, probably tomorrow. Because Tuesdays are like a around the house sort of day, getting things done around the house. So there's that. Oh, did you see the square swap though? I did record that video and get that edited and posted, so I'm excited about that. Good morning, sunshines. Happy Tuesday, the 8th. Oh, does anybody else dream about knitting? Normally I don't, but right before I woke up, I had this dream, and something was very urgent. There was a baby involved because there was a stroller, and someone left my house, and they're like, okay, well, you need to get ready to go because the driver's going to be here in a minute. You're like, okay. So I go down to my room, and I go in my sock drawer, and I pull out this beautiful pair of short socks.
One was aqua and one was like, hot pink is not quite right. Maybe like hot magenta. Yeah, but they were a pair because they had the same all over color work, like a very minimal color work all over them. They were super cute. And like I distinctly remember like looking at these socks and being like, oh, those are cute. And then the driver pulled up and like honked the horn, and it was very emergency. Like the whole thing, the dream was very like emergency situation. Not like the kid was sick or something and needed to go to the hospital, but more like someone was going to try to kidnap the kid and I had to get them away. Look, I came to you. I didn't even brush my hair. This dream was so important. And then I'm like rushing out the door because I just needed socks and my shoes. And I looked at my bed and I was like, oh my gosh, I almost forgot my knitting. And so I grabbed my knitting project. Okay, Brighton, thank you. Thanks for calling me out like that. That's all. I'll be back after school to show you some things.
Hey, sunshines. It's Tuesday. I'm at lunch. I did my 4 rounds. But then I was like, oh, how long is it going to take me to finish this project? So going off of how much yarn I have left, not necessarily off of measurements, because I might not even use all of the green yarns that I have. It'll be based on how it fits. When I try it on, I might use one less stripe. But anyway, I figured out how many yarns I have left. So I have 4 yarns and I'm doing 12 rounds of each color. And then I have 8 rounds left of the green that I'm using right now. And then I figured out how many rounds per black stripe that I'm going to do. So I have 2 12 round black stripes left and 3 6 round black stripes. So if my math is correct, I just did it really quick. Feel free to tell me I did it wrong. I have 98 rounds to go, which at 4 rounds a day is 26.5 days to finish this off. That's so doable by the end of the school year. We have more than 26 school days left. So that's really, really exciting. And even with doing that, that will give me still time to just work on this blanket. So I'm working on the second solid square. Today, after school, I'm doing something that's kind of exciting. I am teaching some of my coworkers how to knit or crochet. We're doing, I think, it's either 5 or 6 sessions, but they're every 2 weeks. And the first one's today. So I am going to take this brown and I am going to start the centers of the squares, the flower squares. So I'm making 12 of those. We'll see how many circles I can get started today while I'm also teaching people how to knit and crochet for an hour. Hey, sunshines. Happy Tuesday evening. I'm tired. But meeting up with other staff members was really, really lovely. One lady, it was all women this time, but one lady brought in a couple of projects that she had questions about, so we talked about those, and that was cool. And then one kind of just brought some drawing stuff and drew for a while and then knitted a little. And the other 3, one of them learned how to knit. She learned how to knit. I cast on for her because I feel like it's kind of like casting on just sucks. Like, if I'm being brutally honest, casting on and binding off, worst parts of a project. So she knew how to crochet. So I was like, okay, do you want to be frustrated or you just want to knit? She was like, I just want to knit. I was like, cool, I'm going to cast on for you, and then I'm going to show you how to knit. Because casting on is frustrating. But then I feel like once you have got the knit stitch down, then going back to learn how to cast on, like doing a knitted cast on is so easy, right? So she did really great. She only made like one mistake, and it wasn't even a big mistake. So that was really cool. And then two of the ladies wanted to crochet, and they but they had crocheted before. It just had been a long time. So I had them start by chaining just to see where they were, like how out are we, and they were both okay at it. Like I had them chain for like 10 minutes just to like get the rhythm back in their hands, right? And then I started their projects for them, which are they're just making squares. It's just practice. They didn't have something in mind. The lady who was learning to knit wanted to make a scarf. She was like, nope, I'm making a scarf. Bet, I got you. So they got started, and like they re-picked it up so fast. So it was very minimal me having to teach, and mostly just like hanging out, which was cool, which was really, really cool. I didn't take a picture, but I'll try to remember tomorrow. I started the flower centers. So I said I was going to do 12 flower squares. I have 8, I think, centers started, maybe 9. I think it was 8. So that's cool. It's just the very, very center, the first round. So nothing really fancy, but that's what I was able to do while I was helping people. And let's show you what I've been working on at home, because it's been a minute. Lies. Let me first show you. So at school, there's an egg decorating contest, and it was supposed to be yesterday and today at lunch, and I didn't do that. So here's my egg. I have a mandala template underneath. So I don't know if I'll be able to enter this in the morning or not, because voting happens starting tomorrow at lunch, I think, or maybe it's Thursday. I think it's Thursday. So I'm gonna finish it tonight. I have this round of green triangles, and then I'm gonna do these little bumps. I kind of wanted it to look like hearts, but also kind of just to look like flower petals. So I just have that to go, and then I'm not going to do anything else down here, but at the top I am going to do some like arcs just to fill in some of that white space so it's not super empty. And I think that'll be cute. I'm hoping it's cute. So, and if it's not able to be part of the contest, that's fine. I just kind of wanted to do it. I'll come in a little closer so you can see the details. It's all hand drawn, obviously, because it's a little wobbly, but yeah, I think it's turning out really cool. So I'm pretty pleased with how it looks. I think it looks really cool. And these are what I'm using. It's, I think I have one Papermate flare. Yeah, right there. But then the rest are just like some, oh, nope, there's more flares. I must have gotten those, teachers must have left those behind. Because I definitely have never bought flares, even though I want them. And I think they're beautiful. But I did get a set of felt tip pens someone gave me at some point. So, yeah, I'm just loving it. It's so fun, and it's a little different. All right, so here is the hood. I'll start here. I did start Kitchenering it closed. I have that much to go. This is how far the length of yarn that I cut took me. I am going to cut another of the cream yarn, another length of the cream yarn, but not the mohair, because I'm feeling a little lazy. I did end up ripping the square, and I put it into a cake so that I can pull from the inside and outside to do the ears on it. I really don't want to buy more yarn for this project. So I'm hoping that what I have will be enough to make ears in a length that I want. I am planning on making them stockinette, I think, so that they will curl in on themselves. That's my plan. I think that'll be cute because bunny ears kind of like curl in on themselves a little. So that's my thought. This is the test knit sock. Look at how cute it looks. Oh, you can't even... Okay, camera. The motif is so much clearer in person. Well, whatever. That's rude. Oh, there. Okay, you can see the motif. I think. I don't know. I feel like it's much clearer in person. There we go. So yeah, I have this. I am a little over halfway done with the motif. So going well on that. I have 2 weeks to do just one sock, so it should be easy peasy. If I can finish the motif by like Thursday, then it'll be zoom zoom down the leg and the foot, and then the motif that's on the foot area is smaller than the motif that's on the leg. So totally doable. I have my sister's oldest kiddo's sock. I have 10 rounds left on the gusset. I don't know why the gusset is like killing me. It just is. It's just so many stitches. And like they're taking up so much space on this needle. I don't know. It's killing me, but it's fine. It's fine. I just do, 1 round on this sock every time I do a rotation of projects, which a rotation is where I touch every single project before I'm allowed to touch another one. You guys want to know how I'm doing that? So when I was doing this, it was either 1 row of the knit row or half of a purl row. And now it's now it's Kitchenering 10 stitches closed. This is however many rounds until my hands are like, nope, we don't want to do this anymore. So sometimes that's 7, sometimes it's 5. Today it's 3. It's fine. Sometimes it's only 2, also fine. And then the Sirena sock, I am almost to the heel. I have 2 more rounds. And then I am to the heel. So this is what the back looks like where I'm working it in stockinette. So that's going pretty awesome. And then I am very close to finished with the gusset on my pocket knitting. So this is what lives in my pocket while I'm at work. And I pull it out and knit on it when I'm walking around my classroom, or if I'm waiting for a class to arrive and I'm standing at the door, I just pull this out and knit on it a little. It has some luxe fur on it because everything has luxe fur if it goes over to Lux's house. That's my boyfriend's dog's name. So yeah, that's going good. And then I also have the bucket hat for my oldest kiddo's friend, and I have the top portion of the bucket hat done, and now I'm working straight for down the sides. I think I'm like halfway. Yeah, I think if I double that, I think if it's this big, that would be like a right bucket hat size, right? I don't know. I'll keep going. I'll see how I feel. My plan is I did this round where I did crochet just through the back loop. So I'm thinking I'm going to crab stitch around this other loop just to make that seem more like a seam, like bucket hats have. So I feel like that's going pretty well. Also, let's check in on some reading. Y'all, I finished Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms. I'm not ready for Kingdom of Ash. I need a minute. And so I've heard a lot of people talking about this book. It's the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. And I've heard people say that they like ACOTAR better, but the Throne of Glass series is a better story. And I totally understand. Like, there's so much going on in Throne of Glass. Like, oh my, this is epic fantasy. Like, this is epic fantasy. It's so good. It's so, like, gripping. But I feel like the reason why people like ACOTAR better is because the characters in Throne of Glass are not likable. Not one single main character is someone who you would be like, yeah, I'd be friends with that person. Not a single one. I don't want to be friends with any of them. Whereas ACOTAR, like, you can have your feelings, but like Nesta, we'd be friends. We would. It would happen. It would happen. Rhysand and Cassian and what's the other one's name? Azriel? Something like that. It's been a minute. Like, they would be my friend group. They totally remind me of people I would hang out with. I would hang out with those people. But the story is not as compelling. It's not as gripping. It's not as intense and moving and interesting. It's a fine story. But Throne of Glass, like, respect. Just respect. So, okay. And I've also heard that, like, Kingdom of Ash is, like, soul crushing in the way that a good epic fantasy is. So I think I'm gonna save that until summer. Like, part of me is like, oh, I want to read it right now. Do I have the mental capacity to read it right now? I don't know. Did I tell you? I don't think I told you that my sister has to go in for surgery now too. So, like, I'm a little at my limit, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm a little at my limit. So I'm not reading. I'm not picking up Kingdom of Ash right away. I am reading Dope Sick. By Beth Macy. I think it was made into a movie. Does it say? I believe I heard that it was made into a movie. My friend got herself and me a copy so that we could buddy read it. I didn't pick it up right away, so I'm reading it now. And it's interesting. It's about heroin. So, and like how heroin came to be the big problem that it is now. I'm only 17 pages in out of 309. Why do I remember the numbers? I don't know, but today I do. So I'm going to be reading that for a bit because honestly, I just don't have a ton of brain space for reading. Like, I must have reread paragraphs in that book so many times. There's not anything that I'm really like, oh, I need to read that right now. So Dope Sick is fine for now. I don't really want to pick up any of the books that I have on my shelf. So, and the library is under construction, so they don't have their whole YA section, because normally I'd just go into the YA section and just look until a title jumped out at me, but they don't have that right now, so I can't do that. So it's fine. It's fine. We're gearing up toward the end of the school year. There's not that many days left. One of the teachers who was at the crafting, I think she said there were 46 days left of school. That's not very many. So So yeah, it's gearing up to the end, and it's just, I have brain space for knitting and crafting because at the end of it, there's a tangible return. I don't really have had space for reading, but that's okay. Sometimes it's not reading time. I can read in the summer. So Kingdom of Ash in the summer. I'm not saying I'm not going to read between now and summer, but like, I need to find something suitably fluffy because Dope Sick is not that. Dope Sick is definitely not light and fluffy.
All right, sunshines. It's late on Tuesday. It's past my bedtime. But I was editing the vlog and I was working on this hat, and I was talking earlier today about doubling the brim length, and I thought that would be good for, or not the brim, but like the depth of the bucket hat. And I did that, and I like the depth. I think it'll work really well. However, this is too big. So, and I was like, oh, maybe it's too big. Maybe it's just, maybe I need to, figure it out. This is what I get for not using a pattern. So it's too big. So I'm going to rip it back all the way past my ridge. I'm going to take out these 2 rounds. So the last 2 rounds of increases, I'm going to take them out. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to work 12 rounds for the height of the bucket hat. So kind of a bummer because this isn't my very favorite thing to work on. And I did just put in a lot of work on it while I was editing, but it's fine because I'd rather this be what my oldest kiddo wants to give to their friend. So anyway, now for real, this is the end of the vlog, and I will see you in a couple weeks for you. Probably tomorrow for me. Bye for now.